The bar was alive with its usual symphony of clinking glasses and overlapping conversations. At 25, as a male bartender, I was used to the nightly chorus of chaos. The usual crowd was in, and I was lost in the rhythm of pouring drinks and exchanging pleasantries. It was a typical night until I noticed a 30-year-old male customer sitting alone at the bar. He was a regular, but tonight there was something different about him. The rest of the patrons were absorbed in their own worlds, but he seemed detached, nursing his drink in solitude. As the night progressed, he began to drink more heavily. I watched as he emptied glass after glass, his eyes darting around the room nervously. Finally, he leaned in closer, his voice barely above a whisper. "I need to get something off my chest." His gaze was intense, and I found myself nodding, encouraging him to go on. He paused, his fingers trembling slightly as he gripped his glass. "I did something terrible," he said, his voice quivering. I leaned forward, curiosity piqued. He looked around, ensuring no one else was listening, then continued. "A few months ago, I got involved in something I shouldn't have." His words spilled out in a rush. He spoke of a crime, one that involved a hidden stash of money and a scheme gone wrong. His eyes were wide with fear as he recounted the night it all happened, how he had been pulled into the plan by an acquaintance, and how things quickly spiraled out of control. As he spoke, his hands shook violently, his gestures erratic and desperate. It was clear he was terrified, the weight of his confession bearing down on him. I listened intently, trying to process the gravity of what he was revealing. Then came the twist. "It wasn't supposed to happen that way," he muttered, his voice breaking. "I thought I was just helping. I didn't know it would end in murder." The word hung in the air, heavy and suffocating. He explained how the plan had gone awry, ending in a double cross that led to someone's death. I stared at him, my mind racing. Could this really be true? His story was surreal, the kind of thing you'd expect in a crime drama, not a quiet night at a bar. Yet here he was, baring his soul, eyes pleading for some form of absolution or understanding. Before I could respond, he abruptly stood up, his chair scraping loudly against the floor. "I shouldn't have said anything," he mumbled, panic flashing across his face. He fumbled for his wallet, tossing some bills on the counter before rushing out into the night. I was left standing there, the bar suddenly feeling too quiet, too still. The shock of his confession lingered in the air, an eerie silence settling around me. What does one do with a confession like that? Report it? Forget it? The questions swirled in my mind. As I cleaned up, I replayed the conversation in my head, the details vivid and unsettling. Should I involve the authorities? Or was this just the rambling of a drunk man, too far gone to know reality from fiction? That night, as I locked up, I couldn't shake the feeling of dread. His words echoed in my mind, leaving me to wonder if I'd ever see him again. And if I did, would I want to? What would you do if someone confessed something like that to you?